Hello everyone. Today I want to tell you about an incident or series of incidents that happened to me, and they have a medical connotation. And the reason I want to share this with you is because many people suffer from similar problems such as I encountered, and they have no voice. But I would like to share this with everyone, and I'm going to have to disclose some medical information about myself, which I don't mind doing, but it's probably things that you were not aware of up to this point. The story I'm about to tell you is true. It has been heavily documented by local authorities and medical institutions, as well as the individuals that were involved. So there are a lot of questions here that can't be answered right in this context, but it raises a lot of questions, and I know that you might have some. I would really welcome your comments, and if you have any questions or any comments, positive or negative, please don't hesitate to add those here. You can also contact us directly at Bubba with Heart. That's HART on heart. At gmail.com, and we will answer your questions personally. Thank you so much. But first, I want to ask you to please subscribe to our channel. We need 500 subscribers. We have a lot more content to produce, a lot more things to talk about, and we're very poor here. We want to do YouTube, we want to spread some good news, and we want to help people out in any way we can. Please subscribe to our channel and help us get to that mark. Thank you so much. So as I said, I want to share some of my health issues with everyone so that it might help someone else that's probably going through the same thing. And statistically, many people do go through similar circumstances, probably not quite as crazy as mine, but they still go through those circumstances. So in 2018, I was working at a mental health, I want to say institution, but it's like they controlled all the mental health for Weld County, Colorado. I was working there, doing great, and then in 2018, my hip started giving me really bad problems. It was painful to sit. It was difficult to sit through meetings. So this is here's a pad. Ow, I'm back on my own back. So yeah, I put this pad on. I'd be carrying this thing around to meetings. Every meeting, Bubba come in with his hip pad and sit on the chair. That went great. Everything was fine for a long time. And then it suddenly got really worse. The arthritis. It's like one day I'm trying to put my socks on and I couldn't cross my legs to put my sock on. So it got progressively worse. And then I needed to use some kind of object to reach down and pull my sock on because I couldn't reach my foot. And it just went downhill from there. So at work, taking a break, maybe to go for a walk outside with some of the guys or something, and I'd be walking along really good, and then my hip would go up, and I'd just almost fly over to the ground, and it got worse from there. And then I was doing some remodeling work at home. My hip went out while I was on the ladder. I fell off the ladder, hit the dresser, severely injured my shoulder, and went into the wall, dislocating some of the parts of my spine, my neck. So getting rushed to the hospital, they did surgery. They put, I I think it's titanium, but clamps, and they're put together with screws, and they hold your spine together just so your neck doesn't dislocate again. I mean, it kind of holds it together. So if you hit it, because once you've dislocated something, it will continually dislocate through time. I can tell you that for a fact. So yeah, I'm a little bit nervous about talking about this, and I haven't told everybody about this, but so at that point, I was unable to ride a bus. I was unable to drive in a vehicle because the surgery, putting the metal in my spine and stuff, made me pretty vulnerable to injury. So I took a job downtown with the state of Colorado as a software engineer and started working there. And I seemed to be recovering a little bit. And then one day I was trying to walk, like a 5-minute walk between buildings. The state has buildings here and they have buildings there, and the guys just walk to those buildings. So, and at that point, I had a cane that I was using, but the cane wouldn't. Both of my legs were like bad, so I've had a really hard time. So that was the beginning of my real problems right there, and it was like physical therapy, lots of pain medication, and some progress, and then some regression, and so by 2020, right in the middle of COVID, I decided to go ahead and temporarily retire so that I could have some corrective surgery and go through some physical therapy and get better. But I worked at home on a DoD project for a while. After that project, it was going pretty good, and then I guess I get a little overconfident. I'm a little overconfident sometimes, and so I was walking with two canes, but I was going up and down. I got these hills, not these little hills that you can run up and down and get to the parking lot, or you can go up the stairs. But I was running up and down the hills with the canes, and then one day I went up the hill, came down the hill, and I fell. I hit the concrete. I didn't quite make it to the concrete. See, the osteoarthritis weakens all your muscles, and so it's very painful. And this is going to tell you how painful it is right now. So I fell, hit the ground, didn't think I could get up, but I'm like, I can't make it, and I got up and went in, and I thought, man, I really hurt myself this time. So I could still walk, with my canes, not really very well. I could kind of trudge a little bit. And so I got right into an office chair, which has wheels. And so but they don't work very well on the carpet. They really suck. But so I was able to get around enough, I managed to get in bed, and I called my sons, Jake, Jesse, and Noah. God bless them. They're wonderful, wonderful children. They're wonderful adults. I'm very proud of them. And I told them what happened, and the next day they came over, and I gave them my credit card, and I said, I need a wheelchair, and I need another cane, I need this, I need a shower chair, because I cannot get in the shower now, and I gave them a list of stuff, actually, to go buy for me to be able to get past my immobility. And so they took care of me and got me set up real good. And so I was doing great. And 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 I worked. I worked the next day, and about 5 days later, that's when I realized that I had been much more seriously injured than I thought. This is how osteoarthritis is. It is so painful that other pain just doesn't ever reach its intensity, so it kind of blankets it over and you don't notice it. So they're like, yeah, so we need to do emergency surgery, okay, on you. And which that was, I was getting rolled over here and scanned, and rolled over there and do this test, and rolled over here. So I like rolling around, doing opium, and it's cool. But then I got to the one room, and they're like, okay, we're going to put you on the operating table, but we're not going to put you under anesthesia, so you're going to be awake for the whole thing. It's going to be very easy to do, and you won't have a thing to worry about. I said, okay. So they laid me on this table, and my hip is like, I was laying down, and my hip is like hitting that table, and it was killing me, man. So I had to take my right hand, and I put it underneath my left hip, and I was kind of holding that hip up. And they said, well, we want you to remain perfectly still. You have to remain perfectly still. And I'm like, okay, and they give me oxygen and stuff, and then she says, okay, now we're gonna put in this. I'm gonna put this catheter in. You're gonna feel a little pinch. It'll be just a little bit painful, and it only takes a second. I'm like, okay. So I got my hand under my hip. That's killing me, and I'm trying to not, try to be cool with them because I don't want to freak out or anything. And then okay, here we go. And so they put that catheter in, and then all of a sudden, all my arthritis pain disappeared. It's like, but I didn't yell or scream, but it was kind of like somebody's ripping all your fingernails out and your hair at the same time. And so I'm like, I'm not gonna scream, I'm not gonna yell. But the tears will still come out of your eyes. I mean, you can hold that, you can grit your teeth through that kind of pain and not yell, but the tears are going to come out of your eyes because it's so painful. So I'm being real good, and I'm thinking like, oh my God, please get this over with, oh God. So then they come in with the thing, and they're like, okay, we're gonna stick this up your groin, and I'm like, I think you've got enough stuff stuck up there right now, but go for it. So yeah, it's going to go right up your groin, and it's going to go up here, it's going to come around here, go down there, and it's going to come down, and then it's going to get to your spleen. And when it gets to your spleen, we're going to fire that motherfucker up, and it's going to seal that blood, and you're going to stop bleeding inside. As I had lost 30% of my blood, which I didn't really know. But so that was really excruciating. Every second of it was super painful, even shot up on all the drugs they gave me. And but I didn't want to, I'm like, okay, I don't want to freak these guys out, piss them off or anything. It's like, I just want to be a calm, good patient and not complain, because my life is in their hands and all that stuff. So we got through that, and then there was the hip surgery. So when they did the hip surgery, it was pretty much equally painful. It wasn't anything near as painful as having that catheter, internal catheter. The external catheters are pretty cool, they're just fine, but the internal catheters are relatively painful. But if you have osteoarthritis, you have a very high pain tolerance, or you won't survive if you don't. So they did the hip surgery later, the next day I think. Oh yeah, of course. Oh, I can't eat anything again. I can't eat anything, but they would bring me pills. But I had to take pills, instead of putting it in my IV. Some of the things I had to take were in pills, and they gave a little cup of water. It's about this much water in a cup, and the nurse is like, "Okay, you can have this little bit of water to take those pills, but don't drink very much." And I'm like, So the hip surgery went really good. I mean, there's like 3 or 4 doctors and all these interns and all this stuff, and they're learning and watching and stuff. And when the doctor got done with the hip, he said, "Oh, I got that son of a bitch perfect." And when he said that, I'm like, yes. And then later the next day, he's like, I got to see the scar. I got to see the scar. He's looking at the scar and he says, "Oh, hell yes. I got that son of a bitch perfect." And so I'm like, yes. And you know what? It's true. He did. He got it perfect. This left hip was my worst hip, and it totally fixed it. And I don't even know what the hell he did. But he put something into the hip. It's like I don't know what he put in there, but it was definitely some kind of a metallic thing, which I've got lots and lots of metal in my body. So, well, it's a little more metal. So that was the hip surgery, and and then of course I'm still in IR. I stayed in intensive care, IC, for most of the whole time. I don't know if I was ever even transferred out. No, I think I was transferred out the last couple of days. I was in the hospital 2 weeks, and they were fixing all this stuff, and then the billing lady's like, "Let me see your medical card." And so I'll give her my medical card, which is Medicare. And so she said, "Oh, well, here's $100 copay to get out with this." And I said, "Yeah, I don't have any money." And she said, "Oh, okay, that's fine." And let's see what else. And she's like looking through her computer, she's typing on her computer, looking at my card going, "Let's see, I think we can get you into some other programs." So that tells you something. They're like looking at your insurance card, looking at you, they're looking at dollar signs, And so, yeah, she's going to get me into every damn thing that frickin' Medicare card will pay for. And that is what eventually got me into the nursing home. And because, I'm like so agreeable in the hospital, I don't want to piss anybody off. I just, so she's like, "Oh, we can get get you in, oh, here's something." And she's talking about this blah, 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 blah program. And to help you rehabilitate after your release, we can get you into this da-da-da-da-da program, and it lasts 17 days. And they will rehabilitate you, and they will take care of you. And I'm like, I said, "Listen, I can't do that because I have to work. I have to be on my computer." And she said, "Well, you can take your computer in there with you." And so I called my son up, and I'm like, "Hey, man, so I take my computer into this other program with me last 17 days. And he's like, "Yeah, we can bring your computer down." So I'm like, "Cool." So in the meantime, I hadn't had a bowel movement, and I'm sorry, that's so offensive, but when you go in the hospital, bowel movements are really important. It's like, you haven't had a bowel movement in a long time, and so why don't you try to have a bowel movement? So I'm like, okay, man, I had the bowel movement from hell, and but I was fine. I didn't have to do anything because the nurse just came in and washed me off and everything. So she said, now you want to take a bath? And I'm like, yeah, I'll take a bath. And so one other nurse comes in and says, the transport is coming to pick him up in a few minutes. And so I'm like, cool, okay, cool. So, they had all this medication they'd been giving me, and so they didn't give me an extra for that. But I was reluctant to go to this thing. I'm like, why do I want to go to this? And the one nurse was like, oh, it'll be great. It's just what you need. You'll be rehabilitated and everything. So yeah, I said, okay, cool. So they come, they got me, and put me on the gurney, loaded me into an ambulance, and hauled my ass over to Golden, Colorado, to the facility, which, I wasn't really reading the details. I'm so bad about that. And so got to that facility, and went in there, and they're all friendly and nice. And the thing is, when you have this kind of condition with osteo, you have incontinence, like you can't control your urination. And so that's why they always had a catheter, on the external catheter, or else my nurses would be there and I'd go, I gotta pee, and they'd rush over there because I didn't want to change my sheets and stuff. And they'd take care of me that way, man. And but in this place they're going like, oh, okay, well, yeah, we'll just give you a urinal. A urinal is just like a little, tub that you just pee into, like if you're in bed, you just kind of roll over and you can pee into it, and that's fine. So they put me, I was on the second floor or third floor of this place. They put me in a bed and say, oh, you had hip surgery. So they put me in a bed with a big ass hole in the middle. So my ass like sank down like a foot, and I'm like going like this. And I said, this is not going to work because I can't move. I can't turn over. Here's your urinal. And I'm like, but I can't turn over to pee in the urinal. But oh, it'll be fine. Just roll over but you try pulling your ass out of a fucking hole this big when you just came off hip surgery and you got osteoarthritis. Yeah, try that sometime. So, as a result, yeah, there was pee everywhere. And then there's a mean nurse and there's a nice nurse, and both women. And the mean nurse is like, why didn't you pee in the urinal? And I'm like, because I can't get my ass out of this big fucking hole. So, yeah, then I was starting to lose my composure a little bit because I was trying to explain that to her. I don't need to have my ass into a hole. Just put me on a regular bed, and which they didn't. So there was another little problem, and so that was the way the night went. The mean nurse would come in and bitch me out. The nice nurse would come in and give me a massage. There I was in that place, and I didn't know where it was or what it was or anything. I just knew it was a rehabilitation facility. That's because I don't read the fine print on this shit, which I should. And so the next day, everything was nicey nice, except I had, a torturous night with my ass stuck in the hole all night and peeing everywhere. And so the next day when I woke up, I'm like, where's my medication? Oh, we don't medication? Oh, yeah, and I'm talking about, I forget the medication, but it was really good, strong drugs, and I really liked it a lot, and I was like addicted to it at that point. So I need my medication. So, well, we'll have to check with the doctor and all this shit. And it's like, no, I need it like now. And see, that was the first time in this medical experience that I was getting pissed off. And so, yeah, we're working on it. And working on it my ass because I'm already going through withdrawal, you know. And plus I've been peeing all night and I can't get up and I can't do anything because I don't have any canes. I'm totally helpless. I got my cell phone. That's about all I got. So the morning came in and, well, now we're going to have this meeting about how we're going to help you, and we'll all get together in groups of 5 and talk about our problems. And I'm like, I need my medication. So I wasn't too pleasant through those. You know, we did have breakfast, which was okay. I still had no medication, and the main doctor, turns out, was just a total asshole. I mean, as you'll see, because as the story goes on. But, so, we had these meetings. I was pissing and everybody's post-toasties and bitch off. So, then, I always end up back. They take me over to the meeting and sit me down, have the meeting, come back. We had like 2 or 3 meetings. We had breakfast. Everybody's all happy and everything, and I'm really pissed off. So I did not make a very good person to be there. But, so I'm sitting in bed, and I'm thinking, I'm going to have to go down there to the main station, which was, it was like, you know, half a building away. But I can't walk, I don't have any canes. And so I thought, but there's a chair sitting here. So I grabbed the chair by the back, and I used the chair as a walker, and I scooted it down the floor. And, you know, and the main desk there, all the doctors and the nurses, they're like seeing me come up there, you know. And I got up there, and I said, I want to be released from here now. I don't have my medication. This is miserable. And he says, oh no, everything will be fine. We'll get your medication for you and everything and blah, blah, blah. And I say, no, I don't care. I want out of here. I want released from this place right now. And he's like, so we get in this little pissing contest with this doctor that's an asshole. And finally he says, well, if you leave here, you won't get any medication. And I said, okay, I don't care about the damn medication. I just want the hell out of here. And so he looks at that chair and he looks at me and he says, how are you going to get down to the first floor? Because you can't take the chair. And I'm like, oh God, he pissed me off. So I'm really pissed off, So I turn around, pushing my chair back to my room. And I'm thinking, those sons of bitches, they are screwing me over. What the hell can I do? And then all of a sudden I thought, I got my phone. So I pull my phone out. I'll call 911. So I called 911. I reported that I was being held hostage in this place. Yeah, and I had the name of it then. I didn't really understand it was a nursing home. It was a nursing home. But yeah, so that's how I ended up in the nursing home. So I called them up, and, you know, about 20 minutes later, here comes a SWAT team, and from Golden, and the cops walking in there, what's going on here, and all this shit. And the doctor says, oh, well, this man has, he's just like losing it, not cognitive and all that shit. And I said, my ass, I said, they're holding me hostage, they kept me in this room, or fucking made me piss all over myself, did this to me, did that to me. And so he looks at the doctor, and the doctor says, okay, we'll give you a cognitive test. And so right there in front of the cops and everything, he's like, you know, what day is it? What's your name? Where are you? Da-da-da-da-da. And I'm like answering every freaking question. And then the doctor says, okay, I guess he passes the cognitive test. And I said, he won't let me go down the elevator because he won't give me a wheelchair or anything. And so the cops made the doctor give me a fucking wheelchair. And I'm off in that wheelchair, down in the elevator, calling an Uber, you know, and the Uber was like late. It took him 3 hours to get there. So I get there. I managed to get in an Uber, get out of the wheelchair, slide in the Uber. What do I got? What am I wearing? I'm wearing like a pair of shorts and a t-shirt. I don't remember if I had shoes, but yeah, so that's all I got on. I got no underwear, shorts and a t-shirt, and so here comes the Uber finally, and then I'm realizing that I don't have keys to my apartment, so I can't get into my apartment. So I gotta say, my apartment management is just awesome. So I called up apartment management and I explained the situation. I'm getting out of the hospital. I don't have any keys. I just had surgery, and so the girl there was like, "Oh yeah, okay, I'll wait for you. I'll wait for you here. I'll help you get in to your apartment." And so, here I come in the Uber, and I got out of the Uber, and I'm trying to walk, holding on to the Uber car, and I walked over to the sidewalk, where the stairs are, get up on the sidewalk. But I didn't have any way to actually walk. I think someone was trying to help me. And then as soon as I got there, I tried to raise my leg up, and I didn't make it. My pants fell down. I got nothing on underneath it, so I'm laying there with my pants down, naked as a jaybird from the waist down, on the sidewalk. And then the Uber driver and the girl from the apartment came up and helped me up and pulled my pants up. And I said, "Hey," "go to my apartment. Right when you walk in the door, there should be 2 canes. If you bring me those canes, I can make it down in there." And she's like running down there to get those canes. She got me the canes, and I managed to get down the stairs. They helped me down the stairs. I managed to get in the apartment, and there I have my wheelchair, and I'm like so relieved. So that was my escape from the nursing home, and I think there's a lot of valuable lessons to learn here. But one of them, most importantly, is when you experience osteoarthritis, when you experience a disability that just knocks you right out, like it did me, that it can be really tough. It can be mentally and emotionally challenging. And so I know there are many people that go through this type of thing, but I hope that by telling my story that it might help somebody else to deal with theirs.